Alright guys, we are here for what will be the final episode of preparing for Dokkan Battlefield. So, if you guys are not familiar with like the Dokkan Battlefield series, I'll briefly talk about it and then we'll jump in. Basically, like, when I started YouTube, I was more of like a Let's Player playing different, kind of games and kind of, you guys get what I'm saying, like, doing a playthrough, commentating, whatever. So, when I started playing JP Dokkan, like, obviously, I went from a decent global account, a pretty good global account, to, starting over fresh on JP. I knew about the Dokkan Battlefield mode, where you needed 100 URs, and it was kind of a tower defense thing. So I was always very keen to playing that new mode. So I was constantly focusing on preparing my entire box, having over 100 URs, and being ready to take on Dokkan Battlefield. So I created a series where I would, anytime I would Dokkan Awaken a unit, I would always do it on video, so that I would be ready for when Dokkan Battlefield inevitably did come back. Now, it did come back. Obviously, by the time Dokkan Battlefield has returned, there have been so many new units, so many powerful LRs and stuff, that a majority of the units I awakened during the series, I don't even use in the mode at all, and I never will. But still, I do like to go ahead and awaken these units on video, so we'll go ahead and jump into it now. Another reason is, like, I haven't really done any preparing for Dokkan Battlefield videos in a while. The reason for that being is because, I had, like, almost every unit in the game awaken. And I would like to do a video where basically I do a breakdown of, several different units I'm awakening. So what I would do is I kind of just do, like, a showcase of them. The reason I was able to do a preparing for Dokkan Battlefield here is because several of the units we're going to awaken are World Tournament units. Because LRTN came out, I had to use all my World Tournament medals to awaken him, so I had a bunch of World Tournament units that I could awaken, but I didn't have the medals for, and now I finally do. So let's go ahead and start out with this AGL Kid Goku right here. Now, I believe this guy's awakening is not yet on Global Dokkan, but I'm also pretty sure that he will arrive on the next Global World Tournament because he came as part of the 21st World Tournament on JP, which is what will be the next World Tournament over on Global Dokkan. Love the card art for this card, by the way. This is, of course, the card of Goku racing off to go fight Demon King Piccolo, during their leading up to their climactic fight. So this is the Greatest Assault Goku Youth Giant Ape. His leader skill is all types key +3 and attack and defense 40%. His super attack is the Kamehameha, which does supreme damage to the enemy. His passive skill is Beatling Power, which is attack and defense 70% at the start of turn. And then he has a rare chance to turn into a giant ape. So attack and defense 70%, not bad. Not bad. That's decent, especially because he is on two of the worst categories in the game. And I presume this is probably going to be one of the better units on both of those categories. The low-class warrior category as well as the giant category. Now, his links are Shattering the Limit, Saiyan Roar, Transform, The Incredible Adventure, All in the Family, Guidance of the Dragon Balls, and Kamehameha. So, we'll see how good this guy will be once there's like a Dragon Ball category leader, or, I'm sure eventually this guy might slot into a team and be relevant on it. But, as of right now, I would say not so much. His 12 key multiplier is 140%. And, of course, he has three categories. We have the low-class Saiyan category right here, which I feel is the worst category in the game, especially because of the leader as well. He's also on the giant category, which is maybe right around low-class Saiyan in terms of worst category in the game. And then, of course, he is also on the pure-blooded Saiyan team, because, of course, Goku is a pure-blooded Saiyan. Alright, so next, let's go on to the next unit that we have to go ahead and Dokkan Awaken. Now, this is maybe a little surprising, but I'm actually going to go ahead and Dokkan Awaken a lot of the Battlefield units right now. I don't have physical LR Ginyu Force yet, but I figured, you know what, I just want to awaken all the other units I can in my box, and then I'll worry about getting the physical LR Ginyu Force after this. So we'll go ahead and use some Battlefield medals, and we're going to awaken this SCR Evil Boo right here. Of course, these Battlefield medals are very, very difficult to get, but, if they're going to bring back Dokkan Battlefield every month or 2 months, I can go ahead and get, physical LR Ginyu Force, at my leisure, basically, and go ahead and awaken, some of these other units. I don't know if I'm going to use a lot of these guys, but, it is still cool to go ahead and awaken them and take a look at them. So, this is Silent Executioner, Majin Buu Pure Evil. His leader skill is Tech, Int, and STR type, Ki +3, and HP and attack 30%. His super attack is the Super Kamehameha, which does supreme damage and raises attack for 3 turns. His passive skill, Vicious Judgment, is attack plus 18,000 when HP is 99% or below. That's not good. I'm going to say it very casually. That's just not good. It's not going to hold up at all moving forward. Oh, boo. His links are Majin, Brutal Beatdown, Kamehameha, Infinite Regeneration, Nightmare, The Wall Standing Tall, and Shattering the Limit. So links would be good, of course, on a Majin Buu team. Maybe that will eventually happen. Never know. His 12-game multiplier is 133%. Odd number there, and also dreadfully low. Just not a lot to talk about with this guy. He's pretty damn bad. And he has one category, the Majin Buu Saga category. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. This guy was one of the first waves of awakenings with Battlefield, and many of those units were, as you guys can see, exceptionally bad, I would say. I think that's a good assessment for him. Exceptionally bad. Next unit we're going to go ahead and awaken is the Super Saiyan Vegeta from GT. This, of course, is a World Tournament unit, and he does awaken with the World Tournament reward medals. So let's go ahead and Dokkan Awaken this guy. Now, this guy's a little different in that he used to be one of the worst SSRs in the game, and after awakening, I would say he's actually very usable. He becomes a lot better after awakening. He also loses his jacket there, but I think his sprite in battle still has the jacket, which is like a big pet peeve of mine. I hate that. It's like, the Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman doesn't have the sunglasses on his battle sprite. I'm not a fan of that. Give him the fucking sunglasses. Alright, so this right here. This is Lone Guardian Super Saiyan Vegeta GT. His leader skill is all types Ki +2 and attack and defense 40%. His super attack is the Final Flash, which does supreme damage to the enemy and raises defense by 30% for 6 turns. That's pretty good. I'm a big fan of like an effect like that would last for 6 turns. Like, that is definitely usable. And even if he is a floater, he would be able to stack that in like a really difficult fight. So that's pretty good. Now, his passive skill, Indispensable Existence, is attack 90% when HP is 99% or below. I don't think that restriction's really that bad, but honestly, I do feel as though he didn't need a restriction at all. But I don't know, that's just me. His links are Golden Warrior, the Saiyan Lineage, Royal Lineage, GT, Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, and Shattering Limit. Now, one of the really good things about this guy, before he Dokkan Awakened, he did not have Prepared for Battle. That's another reason he got so much better once he got his Dokkan Awakening, is because he actually got that very relevant key link Prepare for Battle, which should help him out a lot in the future. Now, obviously, on Super Tech, that team is all over in a flash, so he's not going to be great there, but he is on a couple categories. His 12-game multiplier is also 135%, which, nowadays I really would like to see nearly every single unit at least at a minimum of 140. But this guy is quite old at this point, and he has 2 categories. He is on the saddest category in the game, the Shadow Dragon Art category, just because no one runs that team. The team is good, like it's a good team. It's just no one runs it. No one runs it at all. There's good units on there. They need to put a Super Saiyan 4 Goku on there. They need to add more units, usable Shadow Dragons. There's a lot they could do with that, and I wish they would. Alright, other thing we have right here is he is on the Pure-Blooded Saiyan category. Again, fantastic category that allowed a lot of units to kind of get a little bit of relevance. Because, like, let's say you're a fresh account, right? And you grind the World Tournament a little bit, you got 2 or 3 World Tournament summon tickets, and this is one of the guys you pulled. Like, this guy could actually be pretty good for you. Like, he's not bad. Of all the units we're looking at, he's one of the better ones we're going to look at today. I'm actually a big fan of this Vegeta. and the fact that he's on, this small category, the Shadow Dragon Art category, he could be very valuable for a lot of people. So next, let's go ahead and awaken this guy. This is actually a free-to-play, farmable Super Android 13, or Fusion Android 13, from the normal story, the quest mode. And then you're able to Dokkan Awaken him with Battlefield medals to a very good card, actually. Considering you get this guy not from an event, but just from quest mode, I would say they made him surprisingly good. Certainly a very, very powerful free-to-play card. And it's probably not that big of a stretch to say he's one of the better free-to-play cards in the game. He certainly could be a good option on an Android category if that ever does come to fruition. I would say it's probably a safe bet we could see Super Android 17 put on a category very soon. And if like Super 17 would become put on a category, I'm sure something like this Android 13 would also be on that same category. So this is Tragedy Born from Power, Fusion Android 13. His leader skill is Physical, STR, and Tech types K+2, and Attack and Defense 40%. His super attack is the Full Power SS Deadly Bomber, which does supreme damage to the enemy and lowers defense. His passive skill is Battle Data of 14 and 15, so of course of Android 14 and Android 15, who don't have like usable cards, by the way. They're like bosses in the game, but there's no usable cards of Android 14 and 15. There really should be as well. Like Android 13, I'd say he's worthy of getting a Dokkan Fest banner and like a summonable Android 14 and 15. Like he could actually be the Android category leader. That wouldn't be like, oh my god, craziness. Like it would make sense. And then you could make like Android 14 could be like a tank hard hitter, and then Android 15 could be a support type unit. Yeah, Android 15 would be a very good support type unit. 14 could be like a tank or something. There also does seem to be a new Android 16 as well. There's a lot of units that really have been passed up that need like usable SSRs on relevant teams. So that passive is Ki +4 and attacks 70% when Ki is 8 or more. So that's not bad. All he has to do is get to 8 Ki, and he is able to super attack. So I definitely do like that. And attack 70% is not too bad, considering he is, of course, a free-to-play unit. His links are Red Ribbon Army, Android Assault, Tough as Nails, Metamorphosis, Fear and Faith, Shattering the Limit, and, of course, Nightmare. So he does have a few solid links, and definitely could be good on an Android team. We'll see. His 12 Ki multiplier is 140%, which is not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. And he does have one category. He is, of course, on the Movie Boss category, but I do kind of have a suspicion that we could see an Android category coming sooner rather than later. It has seemed recently like they've been trying to get all the Dokkan Fest units that are not on categories into categories. Like, you look at Blue Vegeta with the full-blooded Saiyan team. Look at Turles with the Movie Boss team. Like, they're really trying to get a lot of these units onto categories now. Even like Physical Super Vegito with the Majin Buu Saga team got a lot of units that didn't have categories onto a category team. So that is interesting. So next, we're going to do 2 more units here. The next one is actually probably the best unit of this listing. And honestly, he does kind of deserve his own video. I probably will just make a video on this Turles in the future. Now, I actually missed it. The Tree of Might event was up, but I misread the date, and I thought it was going to be up longer. But Turles, of course, is farmable. Maybe after I go ahead and the event comes back, and I farm up his super attack in the future, I will go ahead and do a video on him. But this Tech Turles is a very, very good unit for an Extreme Tech team, and he's also very, very good for Super Battle Road. So definitely do not sleep on this guy. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this bad boy. So this guy right here, this of course is Absolute Suppression Turles. His leader skill is Ki 3 and attack and defense 30% when HP is 30% or above. His super attack is the Kill Driver, which does supreme damage with a high chance to stun the enemy. Again, very valuable for Super Battle Road right there. His passive skill, Advanced Combat Power, is Ki 3 and attack and defense 60% for 7 turns from the start of turn. So he it sucks that he has a restriction. I don't really think he needs a restriction at all. You know, Ki 3 in attack and defense 60% is not crazy OP. But, you know, as long as he has that active, he's going to be a very solid unit. Especially like that Ki 3 is really going to help him on a team like Extreme Tech, where Ki could be an issue between some of these Saiyans. And most of the time, a fight is probably not going to last longer than 7 turns. Maybe some of the newest Dokkan Fest boss fights, but really what's funny is by the time you get to the last phase of these Dokkan Fest boss fights anyway, the enemies are likely to be immune to stun. So, you know, at that point he does basically just become a completely worthless unit, but for the beginning of the fight he is pretty good. So his links are Destroyer of the Universe, Saiyan Warrior Race, Prepare for Battle, Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, Shattering Limit, and Nightmare. So he would be a pretty good unit on a number of categories. 12k multiplier is also 135%, which is fine. Now, he would be a good unit for all these categories he's on. The low class warrior category, he would be pretty good on the movie boss category, and of course he could also be good on the pure-blooded Saiyan category. But guess what? They just released AGL Dokkan Fest Turles, who is one of the best units in the game, the best support unit in the game, who makes every team he's on like infinitely better. So unfortunately that does like hurt Tector a lot, but he is still good on Extreme Tech, or I'm sure like you could find a place for this guy because of his high chance to stun and, you know, relatively decent passive. Alright, so let's just go ahead and awaken one more unit, another unit that's actually kinda bad. None of these you know, units here in this batch are really like crazy good or anything. So what we have here is this Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. This man is actually a SA10, because I've pulled him, I don't know, maybe 20 fucking times, this damn Vegeta. Let's go ahead and Dokkan Awaken him here, and get him to this next form. Actually, did I pull this guy? Yeah, I think I've pulled this guy enough just to get him the SA10, with feeding in either his copies, or like some other Super Saiyan 2 Vegetas, like the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma cards. I might have taken like one of those guys and fed him into this one to get him SA10. I can't remember completely. But what's funny is even though he's at SA10, it's not like it matters because he's really not that great. These battlefield units taking the most valuable awakening medal, and they're really not even that good. So this is Everything at Stake Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. His leader skill is AGL, Tech, and Physical types. Ki +3 and HP and attack 30%. His super attack is the Final Impact, which does supreme damage to the enemy. His passive is Desperate Attack, which is attack and defense 90% when HP is 80% or below. So that's nice. Like, you know, attack and defense 90% is good, but when HP is 80% or below, you know, it's just an annoying restriction to have to make this guy, like, decent at all. And then his links are Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Golden Warrior, Royal Lineage, Revival, Prepare for Battle, and Shattering the Limit. So, I don't know. Just, I'm not really the biggest fan of this unit. You know, it is cool to have a Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. From the end of the Buu saga like we do, but he hasn't really, you know, withheld the test of time. His 12k multiplier is 135%, and of course he is on 3 categories. He is on the Revived Warrior category, because this, of course, this is Vegeta. After he's brought back to life, what's funny enough is, I don't think he goes even Super Saiyan after he's brought back to life, does he? Well, no, he does stall with Kid Buu a little bit, but I don't know if he goes Super Saiyan. I swear he's only base form when he goes to stall Kid Buu after he's actually revived while Goku's preparing the Spirit Bomb. I could be remembering that wrong. I'm actually probably going to check that out after I get done recording this, because that's very weird. But anyway, Revived Warrior category is on. He's also on the Majin Buu Saga category. And then, of course, he is on the Pure-Blooded Saiyan category as well. So there we have it. At this point, all of the units in my box are Dokkan Awaken. There's only one unit that I have to awaken, and that, of course, is the physical LR, like the physical TUR version of the LR Ginyu Force. That's the only one that I have left to Dokkan Awaken at this point, and it probably will take Battlefield returning a few more times before I'm able to do it, because as you guys can see, it will take 70 battlefield medals to actually go ahead and awaken this guy. And I only have 7 now, so it'll take a while. He is pretty good once he's awakened, but, you know, we'll see. I wonder, I suppose there's a chance, too, that they might actually make other units, like, awaken from battlefield medals. You know, crazier things have happened. But, alright guys, that will do it, and that will conclude the Preparing for Dokkan Battlefield series, since basically every unit I've got is awakened now. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all for the next Dokkan Battle video. Peace!